Okay. Good evening and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Well. Look at here, look at here, look at here. All right. Tonight I'm laying down. So I'm just going to do this from a remote location. Oh my God. Anyway, no, I'm seriously laying down. But I was just sitting here looking at some stuff, reviewing some videos around here that have my name in them. And I'm just like, I don't know why I keep coming around thinking that things are going to get better around here, knowing that I'm dealing with folks who engage in groupthink and do things for the gratification of others. Um, I don't know why I just expect or hope for the best, that there would be some clear understanding. So I have a little bit more time than what I had in the car because I was going to the gym. And yeah, I just got a little bit more time. So I'm gonna have to take apart a couple of things that were said about me that I disagree with. Um So I'm gonna start, and my apologies in advance if I use big terminology, because I happen to have some college. Um, I have an associate's degree in addition to paralegal certificate. So do forgive me if I manage to go past the sixth grade and the language bothers some folks. Hey, Miss Andy, can you hear me, lady? And I know that this bothers folks around here, but but I'm just doing all kinds of stuff today because I have to. I'm doing things so when I'm more remote, I could just have more control of or feel more in control. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna take it I could be heard. Darn it, I'm so not used to this environment anymore that you just popped up and then I just lost my whole train of thought. But basically, I'm just listening to things and I'm still seeing things just get so out of control. I cannot tell people what they can and cannot say on their platform. And I would appreciate the same type of respect be put on my platform. I did forget how to go live. Now I ain't forget how to go live. I just um I just needed some me time. Me time. And I took it. And I don't have any regrets about it whatsoever. I took some me time out here. Thing. Girl, you don't have to work for being blue. We smurfing over here. But what it is, it's just a whole lot of BS. And I just do this this calculation, and I say to myself, damn, 2020, 2017, 2018, 2019. But I'm going to put me on the map as 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And I see myself in a 7 seasons here and 6 years of the same stuff. Y'all know I have a short term. Normally, when I get to the 6 years point in something and I don't see any reward, I move on. Job, 6 years, move on. Man, 6 years, move on. Anything I engage in, 6 years is a number where I just be like, if ain't nothing changed in 6 years, ain't nothing gonna change. That's how I felt about the channel. And that's how I feel about some of the things going on around here. When I entered my last season, which was in 2023, that January, that year, I was feeling pretty good because I was saying to myself, yeah, any kind of hey joy, any kind of disputes I had with folks, they had become null and void. Null, Null, and void, Void. That's just to help people that feel like my terminology is too big. You can now go look up the words while I'm speaking, and then you can educate yourself along the way. And guess what can happen? You can be brought up to date with what I'm saying. Um, because people like you're misusing the words and that is all more they for you're misusing the words. Me no misuse the words, bitch. Me just know what I'm saying. Me went to school, me got my education. Me don't need to be sitting up here acting like a bummer clock on the goddamn internet, man. Me know better than that. So, with that being stated, I'm just gonna go on. I I just saying, like, just leave me. I'm telling you, I'm reassuring bitches that forgot about my stitches. Leave me alone. You don't want this. Oh, oh, I just because you wasn't around when the flames got fired. Bum o'clock. Just because you wasn't around, just because you wasn't available for when I was around here slaying bitches, don't get it twisted. That's all I'm saying. And I'll be trying not to go there. Girl, I'm gonna have to zoom y'all up. I don't know the Atlanta cop story. Not familiar with it. Wait a minute, let me just make sure. I'm not on I'm not on politics in the real world right now. I'm on the bullshit. Yeah. So in Atlanta right now, the only case I'm following is the no, I'm saying the only case I'm following right now in its intensity is the YSL case. And I think now I'm following the stuff with the hey Cameron, I'm following the stuff with the lady from the what's the lady? I'm gonna follow. I'm following a couple of things going on in Atlanta. I'm following a couple of things going on in Atlanta from the perspective of, does Atlanta need a new DA? And this year is an election year on that DA stuff. And you know, on a side note, I'll take a pause. Hey. The people looking up No, NULL, and Boyd, I'm taking a pause right now to talk about something else, right? This is what happens over here. Um, I want to really examine a few things that's going on in Atlanta, because I think Atlanta got it's been the center for a couple of years now with our civil rights violations, with our right to vote violations that are going on. A lot of things are centered coming out of Atlanta. And it's unfortunate to see an organization that's ran by isn't Atlanta, didn't they have the black female mayor, and she stepped down and went into the Biden administration? So there's a lot of happenings happening over there. And this is how I'll summarize it for now, because there's more to come. One of the things I learned being on this one of the things I learned being on this internet and engaging with the people that I engaged with over these years is that in order to control something, as people of color, right? And this is kind of interesting going into Juneteenth as we are next week, right? When we talk about Black Wall Street and we talk about the empowerment of black individuals, right? And building our own communities and having our own stuff. One of the things that you have to do once you get the money is that you have to be able to purchase your politicians. You have to go after the power. And then, I guess we got to just do what little Kim said, right? Money, power, respect. And then we start to get our property. Like, there's a whole chain of the way we need to do our business if we ever want to be able to thrive in communities. So here we have now entities that are being black ran, and they are just as corrupt as when there are people of non-blacks, when non-blacks are running it, right? Each power party that comes in play, right? They put in control their own people to lead that dynasty for that period of time. And because of our inability to really get along as a people, when we get to these levels of power, it is so clear to see that we're not even built to be corrupt. We don't fit in being corrupt. We don't have to be great doing the worst stuff. So when I see a judge, like in the YSL case, making stupid rulings, and just like, I want to cry, because I'm saying this person educated oneself, rose to a certain level, got appointed. I got to look and see if he was elected or appointed to a position of power. And then all of a sudden, because one person is in control, you're falling off. Like, every time I see a person be like, we're gonna stay in recess for 10 minutes, I'm starting to feel like they're going in the background to say, what's my next step? What's my next step? Well, the one thing about it is that black folks in Atlanta are disgusted by the crime. You understand? Imagine now being affluent black folks living out there making buco dollars, right? And you're living in this crime infested environment, and the people committing the crime look like you. And they're initiating crime against you. It's just too freaking much. And I guess that in trying to take control of it, they're just not doing a great job at it. You got one case, right? Let's just look at the YSL case for a moment, right? We're 6 months into the year. They was picking a jury. I don't remember when this stuff started. I have to look back in my notes, but it's definitely been going on for 6 months right now. Do you imagine the amount of financial resources? So I'm gonna use the word resources. RESOURCES, to represent money in this discussion. And I'm saying it again for anybody who's null and void around here and don't understand the meaning of words. Resources. I'm going to use that word to substitute money. So, do you know the amount of resources that they put into this trial? Do you know that all of those attorneys that are representing those people that are on trial right now are stuck in that one case? They can't represent anybody else. They day in, day out on this one particular case. Let me think what else they're doing. So they're really not making no money if they can't represent other clients. The DA, they've got a dedicated DA staff that's just dedicated to that one trial for this one year, right? This is like at the level of OJ Simpson. And you know what happened in that level of OJ Simpson? When you have those long, drawn out trials, you don't necessarily yield the result that you went in that trial looking for. So you got a bunch of resources being put on that trial. Then you've got the Trump trial, and you got a bunch of resources being spent there on trying that case, tying up attorneys over there. How do you then fight the crime that's going on all around the state, the rest of the city, the rest of the city? How are you able to service the rest of the people there? Why is it that this one attorney gets into this argument with the judge for the contempt of court charge, and all of a sudden you have 25 attorneys initially to about 70 attorneys in the vestibule, in the hallway, waiting to get in? Where did these 70 attorneys come from? How do you have the black female attorney representing a snitch who's on the stand making a mockery out of the whole system? How do you have a snitch who has gotten full immunity and he's untold everybody he killed the person y'all there talking about? So someone's got to make this make sense. If you want justice for the person, right? That's why, Mo Justice, I always talk about justice for you, and your personal thoughts on it may differentiate from somebody else's thoughts on justice all the way around. So you have to really evaluate, what are you willing to walk away from in a dispute? What are you willing to walk away from in a situation like this? These people have made deals with the devil. And I took the liberty to do something I normally don't do. I went outside of what was being shown in court to listen to the guy who's on the stand right now, Copeland's um interrogation, but it really wasn't an interrogation. It was actually an interview between him and the officers that brought him to the position of him providing them with the names of a crime or informing them about a crime that was about to take place. And I just was I just watched that. And immediately I heard him say, I was FaceTiming with so and so. So today when they was in court and she was gonna impeach him, I was saying to myself, well, wait a minute. How are you impeaching your own witness? I'm so confused. But that's, another conversation for another day. But there's something going wrong with that administration. And in full disclosure, I have reached out to the YouTube gentleman who came on my panel and was a Fonny fan a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago. Maybe it was like, I don't know, maybe it was live stream number, because this is going to be number 7 for the year for me. So maybe it's live stream number 2. Anyway, we had this whole conversation and he was a Fonny lover, etc., etc. And I remember, trying to impress upon him that you need to look deeper into her actions. Like I could love me a person, but now when I have you in a position, I need you to be able to do the job of that position. And that's what I find to be difficult. So that's my breakaway. That's my takeaway. So I am definitely watching that. So I haven't been looking. I know there's another case that's big out there. It's some Reed woman. The Reed case is interesting. Um, because it's supposed to be corruption with police officers. Her allegations is, well, she is on trial for I'm not going to use no word like unalive. Y'all be killing me with this. She's on trial for murder. And the person was her ex, was her boyfriend at the time that she dropped off to go to another police officer's house for an after party when they were all stinking drunk. And allegedly, she backed up into him and caused what should probably be considered vehicular homicide or some kind of manslaughter charge, but she's got the top charge. She's overcharged in the case, and it people miss one word that's very important in some of these charges, and the word is intentional. And most of the time when you have a trial and you're trying somebody on the top charge of murder, you must be able to prove that they actually did whatever, they actually did the crime and that it was intentional. So they tried to go backwards and be like, it was intentional based on all the things that a person did after the incident. When the reality is, the intent has to been formulated at the time of the crime. You have to build the mens rea at the start of the crime. You don't build the mens rea afterwards. That's a different crime. And you should charge for that. All the cover-ups afterwards and all the other, that's intentional because you know what has occurred. But in any event, that's what's going on here. And I want to say one more thing on the YSL thing. If I believe what I had heard, I thought they were supposed to have a video of the rapper guy actually engaging in some kind of shootout, right? But now what I did pick up from the trial is that they have evidence of him renting the vehicle that was used in the crime. And that's how they're charging the RICO. And last but not least, I hate this RICO charge, period. Because the RICO was built for organized crime, and I don't believe these people are organized enough to be on this crime spree that they want. But to me, the organized crime is stealing these entertainers intellectual property because they no longer wanted to play into, hey, here's another word for the people that don't understand the things I be talking about, royalties. See, when the industry no longer was, when artists came out and they independently sold their mixtapes on the street, and they did their own mechanism for releasing their music out into the public, owning their masters and taking back their masters and all of that type of stuff that goes on, they shut down the industry leadership, whatever the big mechanism was that was making this roll. So whatever those organizations or companies that we were buying wax from and albums, and their letters and their thing, they shut them down. They cut them out. Do you think those folks were going to go away quietly, losing revenue in that mannerism? Oh, oh, that's a negative. That's a negative. So when you see a case like this, I'm looking at it from, why would it be a RICO to take back all of the funds that they ever earned? Think about R. Kelly. We're talking about all of his things that he worked and how he made his empire. Forget the crime that he was accused of and later convicted of. Let's just talk about his intellectual property. Something that you didn't think you could take from somebody got taken. They drain your money out in the court system. This is why they were mad at O.J. Simpson, because he was the first African American person to really defeat the system on its core construct. Money buys you freedom. So these are the things that, if I ever get the audience that I want, I would love to have a conversation with like-minded individuals that can hold a conversation on this level about these kind of things and making those kind of connections. Because see, there's a real world out here where real shit is happening and real people want to be able to discuss it. I just haven't made that connect. So when someone puts up a video entitled, let me see what this video is entitled, the one about the math teacher. Let's just make it a summer. Let me just summarize it. Right? When you want to say that I'm out here antagonizing you, I want to say, no, boo boo. It's bigger than you. And I don't want to be arguing with you because it's bigger than you. See, the only oncology, right? So, like, I go to the gynecologist, so that's an ologist. I don't see a hematologist, right? I don't go to the hematology clinic as my as a resource. I'm saying, folks, wake up. You've got too much baggage behind you to keep carrying that shit forward. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sorry, and I truly am sorry that I'm speaking on a level that's too high for you to get it. I am so sorry that you want me to dumb myself down to your level where I'm sitting up here smoking marijuana on live streams, driving under the influence on live streams, and then wondering why things are not monetized. You can't do those type of things and expect to be financially rewarded for it. You keep emphasizing what videos of mine you haven't watched. Okay, boo boo. The reason why you haven't watched that video is because there's nothing there. That's why I did not behave like a baboon like y'all behave. I did not conduct myself in that way. There was nothing there to harp on and take to the next level. See, when people shut y'all down in your tracks, you don't know how to act with it. It was nothing there. You can almost say it was I don't give a fuck moment. It never rains in Southern California. Woo! Imagine that. Imagine for like 4 years, you can't reek that out. I could sing it with the pleasure. If you know, you know. Period. So let me drop this little hey Nikkei. Let me verify identities around here. Look, I said let me identify identities around here. Girl, I tried to call you for your birthday, and you know I don't do birthdays. I'm gonna need you folks to have one means of communication, okay? I said I'm on some shit today. So anyway, I'm just I'm just so annoyed with the same bullshit. Oh, wait a minute. So are you telling me that you saw my message and you didn't answer me? Oh, that's even worse. Ah, let me see something. Anyway, I'll look for it because you know I'm nosy. And you know I can't multitask like that. But in any event, um, where 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 was I? I just making a connect why this stuff is thing. So the other day, no girl, I'll text you. Anyway, we'll do this afterwards. Let me see. Let me just go back. The other day, um, I was in somebody's chat, and I'm gonna say I was in 2300's chat, and I was listening to some rather interesting commentary that she was doing. And she was retelling her experience on this internet as told by her. And I'm going to say this because I say it for myself. If you don't like the way your character is depicted, do I need to spell that for you too? But I think you understand that one, right? Depicted. right? If you don't like the way your character is told, right? So if you're the character they're talking about in their story, and you don't like the way they building a narrative about you in their story, you got two options. You can either change the way your character behaves, and then maybe they'll change the way they talk about your character in their story. Because, see, at the end of the day, that's 2300 story of her experience on this internet as told by her. And I'm a thinking being, right? Because I critically, I engage in critical think. I am well informed enough to know that there's going to be more to the story, but this is as told by her from her perspective. And I'm going to put some okay on that. All right? Now, that's it. That's everything. I sit there, I'm listening. She's telling you as she's narrating and going through her story. Hey, Mo, you still there? Listen, Monica, blah, 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 blah. And I'm writing in the chat, I'm driving. I'm listening while driving. So that's one, so that the content creator will stop calling me to answer questions, because then I got to take a little while to get to the phone to answer it, right? Or whatever. Um, or that's just to let the people know that I'm preoccupied. At the end of the day, uh what was said is what is said. That's that woman's story. That's her story. So the second part of it is, if you don't want to change the way you behave, then you just go ahead and just keep going at it. Now, I think there was some interesting things said there. I asked what I consider to be my succinct questions, enough to help me understand the conversation. And the only question I asked in that room was, did she believe the source of her information that she was talking about in that particular live stream? And she answered me and said yes. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, I talk about how credible is your source. Because I'm going to tell you, for Monica to consider a source to be credible, I got to have confidence in what is said, what is stated. And me personally, I don't have confidence in her source. And for me, if that source had brought me that information, I'd be like, the whole shit is a play. But I'm going to weigh it out. It's the same way I asked Sakina when she was on my panel years ago, when the condemn sign, so that we all keep in the same narrative, because Sakina tries to paint a picture of like Peter Piper picked peppers in his hard times. She tries to paint a picture here of, I don't really know Momo. But she's been on my panel. We've had discussions about this stuff. I've been on her panel, maybe not about this type of stuff, but we had discussions about that condemned sign situation. And I told Sakina, when she found herself in the midst of that, what was going to happen to her when I was over there, either on Straight Drop or Logic's panel, when it was first starting to come to light that people were checking out the condemned story. So I knew it would definitely come to a head. And I told her that. So when Sakina came on my panel and we was having a conversation, I asked her, because she was swearing off ever having a friendship with a particular person on here ever again. And guess what ended up happening? She went back. And I said she would because I could see that that friendship meant a lot to her. And can't nobody be able to persuade her otherwise. And I think some people have, and it didn't work out. But nevertheless, when I saw 2300's post the other day, it's a post of a post. I, Monica Mo Justice, decided to focus on what I wanted to focus on out of the content. I'm a content creator. When I see something, I build dialogue around the things I see as conversational. I don't build dialogue around breaking a person down. Nowhere, nowhere, nowhere in my posts were there any slick shots thrown at Sakina about her ability to make money, inability to make money. Nothing was directed at Sakina in that post. It was not indirect, and it was nor was it direct. It was me saying, yo, let's look at these numbers right here. When I became a content creator, in the words of Sakina, they was here first. They did it big. They was here before the rest of us. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but I'm good to go with it. I'm a go from your narrative. All of those people here before I became a monetized channel refused. Yeah, the word refuse. You do know how to spell that, and you do know what that means, right? Because I don't want my terminology to get too big. To share what it was like to be monetized. No one shared that. That screenshot that came out was a beautiful adventure for anyone who is not familiar with the program. And I think that's what I heard 2300 say. She said, yo, this is an eye opener for me. So while Sakina posted it in her own words for a specific purpose, to show that she's been monetized since December, other people looked at it for a different lesson to be taught out here. And it wasn't a lesson to embarrass you. Is that what you said? Let me go back to my notes. She said, like, I was trying to intentionally embarrass her for her earnings on the YouTube. When I know that everyone is earning a penny with a hole in it unless you're a panhandler. The only people making money on here are the panhandlers. And what do I mean by panhandlers? Those are the people that go on the YouTube and go live and say, hit up my Cash App. Those are the people that go on the YouTube, go live in somebody's room, and when you look at their name, see mine on the screen says Monica Mo Justice. In there, you'll see their Cash App. They're always advertising, panhandling for money on here. Any way they could get it. It's a self-advertisement. Is it appropriate? For some believe that it is. I'm not knocking the game. I'm just telling you how the game plays itself out. So people are not that concerned about making a penny with a hole in it because there's a lot of channels that could be monetized that aren't. And the reason why they're not is because they're making, the ones that want to make the money, they're making enough money off of the Cash Apps, the PayPals, that they don't need to go through the defined structure that's here. And that's what I was speaking on. And I was speaking on royalties, and I definitely said it wasn't a paycheck. So I made sure to put it like that because people, and it was a general conversation I was having, which is why I didn't post and carry the stuff over from y'all communications. Y'all communications being 2300, sharing it and whatever she had to say when she shared it and whatever you ultimately said. I didn't comment or opine on any of that. I took your information as a baseline and I built my own conversation around it. If you guys were truly content creators, you would acknowledge that shit as being a content creation. So that's just, that's just the lay of the land for me. Um, so when I look at her and I listen to her, and I'm like, I understand where you felt. I'm gonna give you the feel felt method right now. It's the feel felt fuck you method. All right. And I'm just gonna be 100 for it. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I understand how you feel. I don't feel the same way you feel. So I'm saying fuck you to that. Period. Feel felt fuck you method. That's what I'm talking about today. So if people want to be here for it, that's what I'm talking about. Looking at that from my perspective, I put my own conversation on it, and nowhere was I intimidating you or expressing any downward conversation on you. Okay? So I pointed out again the hypotheticals. Hypothetical number one. Hypothetical is um, the imaginary example that I used, which was far from your truth. December to May, December to May, December, January, February, March, April, May is 5 months. It's 5 months of content. I used the hypothetical that began with what you can get from YouTube as a check is in increments of what? Does anybody know in the chat? Let's try to make this interactive tonight. Does anybody know what increments will release your paycheck? Oops, your royalty payment. Because, see, on the top of that screen, it says payment. It doesn't say pay check. It doesn't say pay stub. So those are all the key words that'll let you know that this is not income that is generated from earned income. This is royalty income, which goes under, if you file taxes, goes under a section that is called capital gains. Because guess what? In this business, you can have some wins and you can have some losses. Hit me up. Let me know if you knew that or if it was information that you just learned. Because sadly to say, a lot of people believe that people were making money on here. And I believe that was the point. Now we get into the argument that the women are having. Sakina's point, as I understand it, is December something, I've been monetized since that point in time. The other person point is 2300. It's like, hey, you've been monetized and you're making all this money every month, and you making all this money to get your nails done and blah 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 blah. I think that in that example, it shows that that's not what's happening either. So the information that you put it out, Sakina, if you wanted to tailor it to that argument, then you should have edited it to that argument. So it could have been meaningful and it could have met your perspective 100%. But when you put the whole thing out there, you give critical thinkers the opportunity to now come to their own conclusions because they're not part of groupthink. Imagine that. You, Sakina, doesn't have the power, the authority, or the educational quantifiers to make people only, solely, uniquely see it your way. No, no, this is not Burger King where you can have it your way today. This is an opportunity for people to have. So I did not go over to your room. You were not my source of the information. My source came when it was on 2300's wall. So that's what I posted today. Hopefully that's my source. Um Hopefully you'll take from it what you want to take from it. You said a lot on that video. So I don't know what else, I don't know where else to begin or end with you, but I will tell you this from a hematology point of view and my gynecological point of view in terms of what doctors we see, right? I'm gonna say this. The last time you and I had a discussion that was going way south, hours later, you ended up in the hospital and having this big whole, I don't know what it was, dying moment or whatever. I don't want to partake in that. I don't want to cause anybody any emotional trauma on here because you want to argue over something that's trivial. Means it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make nothing that we're saying amongst the two of us, Sakina and Monica, born on the same day, years apart. Nothing that we discuss is that critical at this moment. There's no discussion that I've had above you, around you, beneath you. You know how I be like, people talk above people, people talk underneath people talk down to people talk around people. None of our discussions is that vital. Nothing that I've communicated with. You're not even, and this is a mutual way. The same way I'm saying you're not this to me, you can view me in the same light. You don't hold no weight in my life. You've never been a content creator that I've had a friendship with, a working relationship with. We have had nothing of a YouTube anything but just passing ships in the night. Period. Period. And when people can't think for themselves, I personally don't want to entertain that type of energy. I don't got time to babysit grown-ups. You claim your fame as being this comedian, right? From Monica's perspective, when I see people being comedians and I listen to the content that they make comedy over, I start to wonder, how does that, what part of that comedy that they're poking fun at really is part of their story? You understand? It's the fat guy making fat jokes scenario, and he's the comedian. They talk about, which is the comedian that committed, um let me see, didn't want to be here no more and self-helped himself out of here. Um the Doubtfire guy and stuff like that. There's a lot of hurt going on through that laughter. And that may be true with all these comedians around here. I find it, Monica. Yeah. Monica, you know that that man, the Robin Sinners, right? Because I'm gonna go to the Robin Sinners because this is gonna be my JJ moment here on the YouTube, right? And I need people to note that I had a JJ moment. Cause let me just tell y'all what that is. So 50 something minutes into this live stream, I'm about to give you my JJ moment. As the Robin Sinners combines, I viewed them a different way. But what you never saw Monica do, never, you never saw Monica in their chat while they were building a wall against any one of you guys. So every time I hear somebody come out here and be like, "Ooh," and let me correct myself, cause I did watch one time when they did a wall, and guess what wall they did? They did a wall on Logic and Logic's baby mama. And when I went back like a snitch and told Logic, I was like, just shooting the breeze. This is around the time of the town hall of shame. When I hit Logic up about it, I said, yeah, he was up there talking about your baby mama and this and that. I said, guess what? I got screenshots. I was so happy of myself because I become like y'all, and I had some screenshots. And I gave them to Logic. And he was like, yo, Mo, this is not my baby mama. This is my baby sister or my older sister. It was a sister of his who had passed away. Man, listen. So anyway, but I saw that for myself. I got that receipt for myself. And I could tell y'all, I think that that was also some telling moments because he knew who else had seen that video and had mentioned nothing to him about what that content was. Why am I saying this and why am I bringing it up? Because it's hypocrites around here. It's a hypocrite to be around here talking about the damage that JJ and his wife, aka the Robin Sinners, did as a collective against you folks. And the rest of you folks watched. Who was the audience? You folks. So I don't even know how y'all can begin to get mad at JJ or Faith at this point, right? As individuals, collectively, the Robin Sinners, for what they engaged in that you helped suborner. You supported it. You egged it on. You nurtured it. You helped it grow into the devastation that it was. You did that. You participated in that. Be accountable for your actions. They continue to do those things because you encouraged it. So now that they are on different tracks and they speak up for themselves independent of everybody else, everybody got a problem with that. Why do you have a problem with it? You created it, you nurtured it, you sponsored it. You can't destroy it. I remember talking to Alethea when Alethea joined in on one of the challenges, the JJ challenge with the sneakers or whatever it was, right? And making fun of his clothes and the socks and everything else. I laughed at the socks. The socks are funny. But if you look at him today, he's still wearing kooky, odd, strange socks. In any event, folks had a JJ challenge. See, quiet as is kept, that's the person y'all like. Because how many people have had a challenge named after them? I'll wait. I'll wait. It's very easy to tell you the things that y'all doing. It is very easy to tell you and show you the things that you folks are doing. Absolutely. Extremely easy. You created that. And then you run around here upset because you guys want to know why y'all called the cemetery? You guys sit around here and host funerals for people that are alive. You bury people alive. And you do it collectively. Like I keep pointing out the story by Shirley Jackson, the lottery. Every year, those people congregated for no rhyme or reason, just out of habit, and they stoned the person to death. Didn't even make no sense. Made families one less parent every year for harvest. You guys do the same thing here in this internet, in this space that I refer to as a cemetery, and you guys appreciate and regurgitate it all the time. You come up here and you do the same thing. You pick a person and you want to pick it apart. So now you want to pick apart his new girlfriend. Trust you me, if y'all could find something if you can just live through somebody's bad moments, you're going to spend your time focusing on somebody's bad moments. This is how ridiculous this assault on his new girlfriend was at this time. She took a picture of him. And I don't know which one of you cemeterians started this, but she took a picture that he posted. And then y'all went to the body of the vehicle to find her image on the vehicle of the person who took the picture. Then you came out here and you body shamed the image you saw on a vehicle for content. So, what is the difference, Sakina, of me looking at your payment and decided to, instead of focusing on December 2023, and I decided to focus on all the other stuff. When you took a picture and instead of focusing on JJ standing there in front of the car, you decided to dissect it further. What's the difference? What's the difference? Mine didn't hurt nobody. Mine might have been information that you could grow on. Y'all tried to hurt that woman. I heard, right, with my own two ears, not no he said, she said, we all said. I heard another woman say, I know you was looking a little fat around the stomach there. Maybe it's because you had. I'm saying to myself, stop. Stop. Have you ever miscarried? Y'all, who raised you, motherfuckers? That's a fair question. What woman in her right, child giving, birthing, right, with a uterus? Oops, we got some of us ain't got those no more. What woman with a uterus would tell another woman, what the fuck is wrong with you bitches? That's when you have to draw the line. Ain't no mic drop there. That's a direct insult. And that's an insult to women everywhere. That's nothing to do with just getting back at, oh, he put up our family. This what he did to us. This what he did to us. Oh my God. Where does it end? Why would you even start there with somebody else? Why would you even begin there with somebody else? That's fucking ridiculous. Then you ask yourself why and this is what I mean when I say people who live in glass houses. How could you even fix your mouth to say and speak on another woman in that tone on that issue? See, people keep saying, well, you can't tell a person how to fight another person, how to go, like how low do they go? But the question is, why would you go that low? When does going low stop? When is it at a natural point? Last thing I want to point out from Sakina's video about the math teacher, I want to point to a statement that she misconstrued because she believes my video was all about her. I have not posted any videos or any comments that were specifically addressed to you in over a year. So I'm sure there has been some somewhere down my timeline. But as for recently, nah, that's a negative. When I mentioned in my video that I posted other posts up here, other things that were not related, I specifically stated, and you can go back to the video because I went back to listen because sometimes, we could lose things in our conversation. I specifically stated that I put videos up, but had I had a different audience, it would have stuck. That's what I'm talking about. So when you went through the channel and you acknowledge that you went through there and you're like, well, I see she put up things that were general. Yes, that's the audience I want. I want to engage with people that want to talk about things like that. I want to have my good old Momomo platform back. Where the same platform where y'all was running over there to watch the wall, I was over here talking about the things that interest me. I wasn't being no troll slayer. I wasn't talking about troll slaying. I wasn't fixated on what y'all was doing over yonder. And when I did come out here to put some light on the nonsense that was going on in the sector, I did just that. Nothing has changed. I have not changed how I've done business the whole time since I've been here. And if you can show me where I have, I'm welcome to hear it. I've been doing the same type of content from day one. Um, and I've managed to reach people out here that appreciate me for who I am and what I bring to the table on a personal level. It is very hard to maintain, like y'all have no idea. It is very hard to maintain the relationships that I have when I have stark differences in how I see things and how other people see things. And it's very hard to balance that if you lack respect for the other person. And I think the reason why I manage to stay above the fray sometimes is because I am able to build those relationships on just being me and people around me just being themselves. Thank you, DMV, LA DMV. Um, that's about it. I'm not gonna change my approach. I do want to get back to my stuff. Um, and there's another part of that video where I speak really against what I see on the YouTube street as I was looking at that while I was examining the 55 cents a day to, and the penny with a hole in it philosophy of mine, right? I'm saying that to be on a platform like a YouTube and they not be able to protect their content creator who they've dubbed as a partner. Imagine being with somebody and they call themselves your partner and they don't try to protect you. How long would you want to be with that partner? See, here on the YouTube, they have a program called the Partnership Program. And in that program, they allow their creators to get their content raped from them. They allow for people to file fraudulent copyright violations against people with no consequences to the violator, but everything punitive to the person that they called a partner. So just imagine being in a relationship with somebody and that person that you loving on is always downing you for somebody else. Somebody else comes along and they say to your partner, hey, Mo just used my parked in my parking spot without what, she's just over there parking in my parking spot, stealing my parking spot every night. And your partner never goes out there to see where you park the car and just immediate believes that person. You feel unprotected. That's what happens out here in the partnership program and the way that the policies are in place, the way the community guidelines are set up. So when you see people challenging the construct here, I gotta just wait it out and see how the process turns out. That's why you hear people saying, what's that terminology they like to use when they're trying to tell people that they're trying to get the blueprint on something. In the words of Karen King, there's a lot of thieves around here. Blueprint ciphering, right? You know, when they go to your car and they take your gas out your car, That blueprint stuff, that ain't nothing else but copycat shit. How you gonna run something, say you are in control of something, and you just copying off of somebody else? Everything that is everything that is supposed to be unique to you is stolen from someplace else. It's a counterfeit. You're a fraud. Imagine that. How credible is your source? There's a reason I don't play other people's content up here. One, it's because I don't want to argue with you over a copyright. And two, it's because I believe my commentary is much bigger than what you said originally. And honestly, if somebody wanted to really go back and listen, they'll do a compare and contrast. And guess what they get to do? Be a critical thinker and think for themselves. People that really want to push their narrative on you and control how you see the picture love to play other people's content and then tell you what it means. When are y'all going to be grown enough to own that you can interpretate that for yourself? You don't need somebody to sit up here, play someone else's content, and then tell you what that means and promise you an infinite amount of promises that they're going to be able to show you something down the line, further down the line. When do you call the game over? This stuff goes on and on and on and on without any stopping point. Football games come to an end. Baseball games have innings, but those innings come to an end after overtime. A lot of these arguments and these constant disputes on here, they just keep going in overtime for no reason. It pains me to hear somebody begin a conversation like I used to begin a conversation. Well, back in 2018, I used to cringe every time I had to begin telling the background of how I was in an argument with somebody here, and I had to go way back and spend the first 30 minutes before I could even get into what I wanted to say now about what happened 2018, 2019, then 2020, 2021, 2022, just to be able to to get to one little point on that day. Listen, again, I got things to offer, but it's not on this level. So when I said for the Sakinas of the internet, I was talking about anybody who shared that type of sentiment at that time. I think the Sakinas are dead to me from this moment on. You know, today I was going through my emails and I was going back to the email where Sakina, you could go pull up the emails, go to your Thorogood channel and see what you once wrote me. See how you once addressed me. Get it together, lady. I will say this, and I mean it because it's how I feel. Oof. Now I'm gonna leave that because I could hear somebody crying to the bloody Jesus. Maybe it'll be Bob Marley. She went and was like, you know, the worldly. I'm just saying, man, you know, Bob Marley. I'm just saying. I'm so over it. I am so over it. I'm so over it. I know one of you got mad because I was speaking on Hyde. I don't know what that man done did to most of y'all. Um, I just hope y'all could get it together. In the words of Eric Brown, maybe y'all just need some forgiveness. Where is EB? Hey EB, I ain't heard from you in a minute. Holla at your girl. Don't holler at me tonight though, because I'm going to bed. But holla at your girl. I'll be at the gym tomorrow, 5 a.m. Um, trying to get my workout in. Working on the things that stress me out. Questions, comments, concerns from the chat. He cooking what he got right now. No, I ain't heard from him in a minute. I ain't heard from him in a minute. Um, I just been hanging out in my own world. Oh, for the record, I dropped the link and I'm gonna give it 5 minutes just to see because I did say panel up or shut the fuck up. So I don't want to forget that I said that. Um, and that's it. I think I said what I had to say though. And I hope I kept it respectful. And if I didn't, hey, just charge it to the game or charge it to that cemetery. Cause I definitely go to the cemetery to visit my loved ones. I'm not even gonna hold you. In the words of the greatest man that ever lived in my life, I pay homage to people all the time. Some people on this internet refer to it as the ancestors. So to hear somebody try to give me some aberration conversation in that, but then disrespect the ancestors, that was crazy to me. I was like, damn, they don't really mad around here. But again, I'm just trying to be intelligent, talking the big words, talking the big talk. And that's it. Anything else going down, going around? Yeah, I handed out a lot of moderator ability around here because I'd rather be in a. I'm just gonna be honest. I'd rather be in a sea of blue amongst people that I know than be in a sea of blue amongst people I don't know. And y'all know this blue is driving my eyes crazy. Driving my life crazy. He cooking what he ain't got. I can't stand my cousin sometimes. I can't stand her. Hey Google, set an alarm for 4 minutes from now.
There, your alarm's set for 9:52 p.m.
That's what I'm talking about. This one said facts from the bushes. It just came out when I said I've been the same. I do the same thing all the time. I've always opined on stuff. I ain't never put myself as being in the middle of people's disputes and stuff. Why would I do that? I don't know them. I don't know what happened. Monica, Monica. What is it? How is it? Let me get my Jamaican together. Mon Monica. You know that man bother everybody. I don't know what that man does. I know when he wasn't bothering you and he was bothering somebody else, if we was to use the word bother, it was all right. You have to be, you have to watch what monsters you create. Ain't nothing changed. And honestly, y'all created them people to be the way they was. Y'all built them up like that. Tried to break them down. And Faith, if you're listening, I don't like the little shot she was throwing my way. I'm just gonna tell you that. If you ain't seen the video for yourself, and I'm gonna use the terminology. If you know, you know, and you didn't see us kikiing, joy, joy, kikiing and ha ha up in there. One thing about history, and one thing about these platforms, because we've been here long enough. If you know, you know, right? Kikiing and ha ha, kikiing and laughing on the panel. If you ain't seen the video for yourself, then you shouldn't be talking about it. And that's about it. Bible thumpers, they ain't say nothing. Hey, Beach. Bible thumpers, all kinds of stuff. Mm. Yo, Beach, I'm glad you come through. Uh-oh. I'm going to get a little dedicated for a little longer. Guess what's going to happen? Just for a little longer. Let me tell you why. Beach, you're not going to believe this stuff. But I'll be hanging out over somewhere else, right? And every time I'm over there, okay, Google, stop. Oh, Karen was right. Shout out to Karen for that. Every time I'm over somewhere, I got these two, I got these two BITCHs always trying to jump me, tag teaming and jumping when I'm over somewhere else. And I'm gonna really have to have a conversation with you because you know who one of them peoples is. And I think I'm gonna tell y'all the other day we was talking about just the guy was talking about crackheads. I kid you not. He was talking about crackheads. He was talking about crackheads and something he said. So they came back a couple of weeks later and was like, "Yeah, you was talking about me And, and I was like, when he was speaking, he spoke on crackheads. Were you a crackhead? So I think you might have been right when you told some story tales about people having you been using drugs and lost their kids because they was losing drugs and stuff. I don't know if people. Well, let me say this. I know that people lost their kids because they told me that, but I didn't know why they lost their kids. But it's starting to make sense because they spazzed out on some drug conversation. And I was sitting up there like, ain't nobody even mentioned no damn drugs. So why is that person even spazzing out? You know why? Because I'm a critical thinker. See, when people come around here and they tell you all these stories about their life, right? And this is even me when I was out here once upon a crime, giving my background about my experience. And it took me a while to understand that the people here were not sensitive enough to my experience and that they would take it and run miles around. But see, only your haters would make those milestones and make it where it became their own content to talk about your story. Can you just imagine that? People are too afraid to come here and share their truth with you because they're afraid of being ridiculed. But they will be the same person that'll come through here and ridicule somebody else. What is that about? What is that about? Why would folks do that? Now I see nobody wanted to panel up with me. I'm sure y'all ran and told that the link was out there. I came on. You know how they say, Kemosabi. I came to the mountain. I brought the mountain to y'all because y'all know I don't do StreamYard. I ain't call nobody out and demand anybody come on the platform. So I don't want that to be that. I simply put the link out there because I think that people should panel out. I was not around last night to see JJ's video. I was sorry I missed it because I probably, but again, that's that man's platform. You can't tell him how to do business. He want to tell people to come up on his platform and get cam up or whatever. You need to negotiate that before you get up there. You need to come to some common grounds as to what you're willing to do. The fact that you actually hit the link, to me that says something. That says that there's probably some way to end that. There's probably some way to end that. And you know what? I'm happy this morning that I did not. I was gonna be what Joy says, Monica, you're an asshole. I was gonna be an asshole this morning because I was going to go live, not live. I was going to go on my community wall this morning. I swear to God, and I was gonna write panel with music notes and everything, right? Because I found that so funny when 2300 was making her video over the weekend, and she said, "The minute I see a panel, I'm jumping on it. I'm gonna be panel." So I was the whole weekend. I was walking around screaming panel. I was just having myself a good time. And I was gonna do that. And I'm glad that I didn't because I didn't know that a panel actually took place. And I would have been all sucked in again as if I was talking about that I didn't know at the time. It's just crazy. I don't know. Them people got mad at me earlier. They was like, I said one thing. I want to tell y'all what I said. Now you gotta know me. We friends, right? I'm amongst friends right now, right? The 30 people that's up in here, you my friends, right? Imagine me telling a woman, I can't believe this. I said they they dried up vaginas. Their dried up vaginas was all hot and bothered over some young man. They was wet and bothered over it, right? Here goes the lady. You cannot have a dry vagina and then be wet and bothered at the same time. And you don't know my medical condition. I was like, what literal piece of shit is this? I was like, who in their right mind would take that all the way to the core? Oh, yeah, a person did. I was like, so all I could do was just laugh when they was mad because I was like, that's crazy. That that is and don't get me wrong, the guy chuckled as the person repeated it. And I said to myself, I said, you in trouble now. Why would you even laugh at it? I know some of these conversations are things that you had to be there to understand where it's coming from or what its origin is. But not everything is meant to exploit. Sometimes like when you come on the internet or you go onto your social platform, you don't really want to embarrass, humiliate, or intimidate a person or an experience that you are sharing with the folks, right? That's why the names and the what is it, the identities have been modified to protect the innocent. You go to those extremes because you just want to tell a story, but you don't want it to to point back precisely to where the story originated from or who might have been ground zero or the catalyst of that discussion. Get your dictionaries out. This will be an opportunity for those who did not go past elementary school to be able to build their vocabulary. If you're going to sit here and be angry at me, at least get educated in the process. Anyway, with that being said, I'm about to bid you guys a good night. Um, I definitely will be going live more frequently. Um, I'll see. I have to work it. I have to work it out. I'll try to do I will try to come back with at least one warship and one warship and one I don't know what the other thing is gonna be called.
What happened?
Nothing, ma'am. I'm hanging up the YouTube. Okay, good. You said okay, good. Can I have a it's are you saying it's 10 o'clock? Do you know where your YouTube hoes are? You didn't say that? No. Can I have a ice cream sandwich, please? And thank you. Were you going to get one?
No. I was looking for something to drink.
Oh, I'll take an ice cream sandwich. I gotta put more water bottles in the
Yeah, I was gonna do that in the morning, but
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. See, I'm not on camera. You're so funny. She is like, I'm not even gonna show my hands. Anyway, love you. Good night. Bye, Nugget. Go with your master. Did he get his treat today? Has it been 2 days in a row? Oh. All right, too bad for that. All right, anyway, I'm going to wish you good people a good night. And no, thank you for your time. That's very interesting. I've been missing stuff. And I said, all right. All right, it's 10 o'clock. It's time for bed. Night, night. Or can I do it one more time? Can I just do it one more time? It never rains in Southern California.